Pittsburgh Penguins last met almost a month ago, November 5th at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and they played one of the few low-scoring games seen in the NHL this year. John Anderson gave the Leafs a 1-0 lead. Mark Johnson tied it for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then on a third-period assist from Anderson, the game's first star, Laurie Boschman scored the winning goal. The beaten goaltender is Greg Millen. Since then, the Leafs and the Penguins have both been slumping. In 10 games since they last met, the Penguins and the Leafs have identical 2-6-2 records, goals against higher than goals for. The Penguins come to the Gardens tonight with two ex-Leafs in the lineup. Dave Burrows, back to Pittsburgh, with whom he began his NHL career in 1971. And Paul Gardner gets another shot at the NHL after being in the minors. And the minors, that's where the two new Leafs obtained for Burrows and Gardner are as of yesterday. Kim Davis and Paul Marshall demoted by Toronto.
A CBET Sports Special. Exciting National Hockey League action featuring the Toronto Maple Leafs at home and on the road. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Molson, brewers of Molson Canadian Lager beer.
Home for the Maple Leafs has hardly been sweet home lately. The Leafs try again tonight at the Gardens against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Hodge, and we paint this game for what it is, a match between two struggling teams. The Penguins, not in a playoff spot at the moment, have been hit hard by injuries all season long, and of course, Dave Burrows and Paul Gardner aren't the only two ex-Leafs in this Pittsburgh team. Rick Kehoe, Randy Carlyle, and George Ferguson happen to be 1, 2, 3 in Pittsburgh scoring. The Leafs get an injured player back tonight. Robert Picard rejoins the lineup on defense, and the Leafs will show a newcomer on defense, Barry Melrose, acquired from the Winnipeg Jets. You might wonder, if he can't help the last-place Jets, what do the Leafs want with him? Well, we might get an indication tonight. The Leafs say they like his physical nature in front of the net, his ability to move opposing forwards away from the goal. The Leafs have not been doing that very well, and we'll find out if Melrose can help. Bill Hewitt will be calling the play-by-play of tonight's Pittsburgh-Toronto game. Brian McFarland will join him in the broadcast booth, and Bob Golden will have highlights and comments during the intermission. We'll return with our hockey coverage in just a moment.
He and Paul Flaherty are the two linesmen. The goalkeepers tonight. We have Rob Howell with an average of 4.67. And then Yuri Sera with an average of 4.11. Very interesting hockey game tonight, just to see where these teams are going to move or not.
They're not going to win the Vezina with those averages, though.
They certainly are. All set to go with Greg Malone at center ice. That's Ferguson, number 11, on the right side. The puck is cleared in. That's Dave Burrows shooting it out to center ice. It goes back to Robert Picard, number 4, shot it in offside. And we'll have a face-off outside the blue line.
Well, I asked Eddie Johnson, coach of Pittsburgh, how he planned to play the Leafs tonight. He said, we're going to try to forecheck them. They've had a tendency lately to give up the puck in their own zone. And, of course, Sera is not the greatest at handling the puck. So look for the Penguins to move in quickly.
Rod Shutt on the left wing for Pittsburgh. Failed to get the puck. Comes back to Robert Picard in his own territory. He's playing out there with Borja Salming. Over to Derlego, to Vive. Back for Derlego. It was behind him. And it's picked up by Shutt of Pittsburgh. Clears it over the line. Ferguson goes after it. Ferguson takes the shot. Sera stopped that. Here's right in front again. And Yuri Sera slides out and covers up.
Oh, Rod Shutt following up on the play missed a splendid scoring chance after Ferguson went through the Leaf defense. They looked a little weak at the blue line. Now we have line changes as Sera came up with a big stop. Sera wearing that cage-type mask deflects the first shot away. Now watch Rod Shutt come into your picture here. 23 as Sera jams down with the pads, and the bouncing puck is right behind him, and he is able to cover up.
Greg Shepard out there now at center for Pittsburgh as the two lines have changed. Pima with Martin, and it goes up to center ice. Shot back in by number 5, Mario Faubert, into the corner. Sittler goes after it. Now we have a bit of a mix-up. Melrose into a mix-up right from the beginning as he took his player into the boards. That's number 28, Jim Hamilton.
Well, it didn't take Melrose very long to get into the thick of things here. He came in with a reputation as somebody who could move players out from in front of the goaltender. And he picked a pretty tough opponent in Jim Hamilton. The young Penguin, Barry Melrose, picked up from the Winnipeg Jets, number 26. Dave Burrows said to him before the game, they passed just outside our television studio, make sure you play well wearing that number.
From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Bill Hewitt with Brian McFarland.
The everything place for everyone's taste. The beautiful Devonshire Mall. Where Windsor folks meet, where they shop, where they eat. The beautiful Devonshire Mall.
Tuesday, December 9th is Children's Shopping Night at Devonshire Mall, where Christmas is for kids.
The beautiful Devonshire Mall. Convenient Devonshire Mall. The wonderful.
Melrose gets the additional minor penalty, and I think you'll see why on the replay. He started the altercation from the corner, taking a swat at Hamilton here with the right hand. So he gets a minor, then they drop the gloves, and they both get major fighting penalties. Hamilton from Barrie, Ontario, 23 years old. Melrose, just acquired from the Winnipeg Jets. And very happy to be in the Toronto organization as a child in Saskatchewan. He said he grew up, and his heroes were Tim Horton and Alan Stanley and Dave Keon and others. Bill started Picard in the first shift tonight along with Salming. He's back after missing 8 games.
And he's out there now with Borja Salming, Ian Turnbull, and David Chan. So they've got 4 defensemen out there as Randy Carlisle goes back for Pittsburgh in behind his own net. Starts to bring the puck up to center ice. Got Ross Lounsbury on the right. Goes over to Faubert, shot it across the goal mouth. Picked up by Lounsbury, number 18 of Pittsburgh. Clears it in back of the net past Keogh. And the Leafs just shoot it out to center ice. Randy Carlisle. Then Faubert was given a shot from behind by Faubert, number 5. And Mario Faubert will go to the penalty box.
Well, that's a really foolish penalty when you have the man advantage to equalize in that manner. Mario Faubert goes off with 1:27 left in the penalty to Melrose.
Number 5, Mario Faubert.
The card coming off that injury, steps over the blue line and is
Mario Faubert for interference.
interfered with right there with the stick by Mario Faubert.
So that eliminates the man advantage. Paul Gardner was out there, but now he's being replaced. He and Rick Keogh leave the ice. It's Darryl Sittler out there with Picard, Borja Salming, and Paymont. It's Salming over the line. Salming is knocked down, and Pittsburgh get a chance. Coming down the ice now is McAdam. There's a shot, and he drove it wide. Stackhouse keeps the puck in for Pittsburgh. Captain is bumped against the boards. Goes back to the net. Goes over to the far side to Wilf Paymont, number 99. Paymont picking his way out with Sittler to center. Over into Pittsburgh territory is Borja Salming in the corner. Shovels it ahead to Paymont. Paymont goes back to Turnbull. Turnbull took a shot right on. Holland had no trouble with that. Burrows tries to get it out along the boards. McAdam is given a bump. Paymont tried to get to it. Turnbull had it deflect off his stick into the crowd.
37 seconds left in Melrose's penalty. There's Picard at the bench, subject to trade rumors the last couple of days with Montreal. Rumor had it Dennis Herron and Napier coming to the Leafs for Picard. I don't know where people hear of these things, Bill. I know Punch Imlach never says much about trades he might be contemplating, but they say it's nothing more than talk. Some strange-looking characters in the crowd. Laurel and Hardy, maybe.
Laurie Boschman is out there, number 12, with John Anderson, Turnbull, and Shand. Number 19 for Pittsburgh is Greg Shepard, out there along with Peter Lee, as the teams play five-a-side. Peter Lee lost the puck. Here's Turnbull coming down over the line. Lets one go right on. Holland stops that and goes down and covers up.
Rob Holland drawing the starting assignment here tonight. He's winless so far this year. He's played 6 games as Greg Millen has had the burden of the work for Pittsburgh. 4 losses, 2 ties for Rob Holland.
Melrose has 18 seconds left in his penalty, while Mario Faubert has 51 seconds. Those are the minor penalties. Melrose and Hamilton still have 5-minute majors. Sittler ready to face off. That's Greg Shepard, number 19. He wins the draw. Taken by Turnbull. Comes back. Salming a shot right on the rebound, and Payma couldn't get to it. Puck goes back out to center ice. Over here for Turnbull on the left wing. He shot it over the line, and it's offside. Darryl Sittler on the right side.
The 2-minute minor to Melrose is almost up. Curtin serving that. Melrose has the additional 5 to serve for fighting, along with Hamilton.
No score in the game. We have 17 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the first period. Lee shoots the puck on a backhand down in to Leaf territory. Back out is Curtin, who served a minor penalty of Melrose's. That's brought by Maloney. He's over the line. Maloney being watched there by Bennett Wolf. Maloney trying to get it loose. Wolf shoved it with his glove, didn't put his hand over the puck. Leafs with Sittler unable to keep it in. Selming then to Wilf Payma. Payma comes back over the line. Trying to pass for Sittler. Intercepted by Randy Carlisle. He shoots the puck down the ice. And going back to touch it is Turnbull. Turnbull, a long pass for Maloney off his skate. Stackhouse of Pittsburgh carries it to the Leaf blue line. It hits Maloney and goes back to Syrup. Salming then to Maloney. Maloney just tips it out to center ice. Dave Burrows gets it over up to George Ferguson. Ferguson of Pittsburgh missed a body check. Puck is loose. Ferguson nearly got it to the number 12, Greg Malone. They go to the corner. They jam against the boards, and they get a whistle. The score is the Pittsburgh Penguins 0, the Toronto Maple Leafs 0.
Perry picked the pleasure pack. Paul picked the pleasure pack. Pam and Penny picked the pleasure pack. Now you say, why did Perry, Paul, Pam, and Penny pick the pleasure pack? Because they know Molson puts 2 of Canada's favorite beers in the pleasure pack. Molson Export, Molson Canadian. That's why Perry picked the pleasure pack. And Patrick picked the pleasure pack. And Peter picked the pleasure pack. And Perry.
The Molson Pleasure Pack. 2 great beers in one.
Well, we're back live at Maple Leaf Gardens. Face off in Leaf territory. Shot off the glass by Farish, and Anderson relays it to Saganek. Saganek for Boschman, it was behind him. Greg Malone now has it for Pittsburgh. Malone is stopped at center ice, and Farish shoots the puck into the corner. It's shot over the glass by Rob Holland, and we'll get a face-off.
George Ferguson, the ex-Leaf, had a great year with Pittsburgh last year. He also scored a record of 3 goals in 1 period in Stanley Cup playoffs. It ties a record. Very popular fellow in a Pittsburgh uniform.
Larry Boschman knocks Greg Malone down. Anderson chops it out past Shand. It's Farish for Anderson. Anderson overskates the puck. Now he gets it loose. Anderson closing in with a shot off the goal post. Individual effort by John Anderson as he wraps one off the post.
Well, at the top of the show, we saw Anderson having a good game against Pittsburgh last time out.
This is NHL Hockey Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Everyone has a best friend, and at Living Things, your best friend is waiting for you. At Living Things, there's a wide selection of pets. Puppies, cats, hamsters, birds large and small, and hundreds of fish. They all want to be your special friend. And the experts there will help you select a pet and give you advice on how to care for it. Visit Living Things in the Malden Village Mall, Windsor, or the Chatham Place Mall in Chatham.
Greg Malone, who's been out with a lot of injuries in the last year for Pittsburgh, is called for hooking on Anderson as he rips one off the goalpost to the crossbar and then high into the crowd. 4:42 the time.
15-18 remaining in this first period. There's no score in the game. The puck cleared by Randy Carlyle right to Pat Hickey. Pat Hickey gets it back of the net for Derlego. Bill Derlego out in front, and he missed his Rick 5, and it's shot down the ice.
Leafs trying to set up from behind the Pittsburgh goal, Bill. That's the sort of play that Gretzky loves to use a lot with Edmonton.
And down the left side comes Turnbull to center ice. Turnbull shoots the puck around on the glass. It's stopped there by Vibe. He goes to the other side. There's nobody there. Peter Lee then was checked by Turnbull, got over quickly. Pat Hickey shoots it around to the other side. Randy Carlyle after that. Ricky Vibe stops that. Vibe trying to center it. Back of the net into the corner. Moving up was Bill Derlego, was hauled down, and Lee comes up with it for Pittsburgh. Lee comes down the ice, trying to get around Salming. Salming takes him to the corner, and then takes the puck away from him, carrying it back of the net to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull coming out of his own territory. A pass over to Salming, too far, and it's shot right back down the ice. 46 seconds left in the penalty to Greg Malone. Leafs still with a man advantage. Long pass to Maloney. Maloney shot it into the corner. Sittler goes after it. Tried to center it, and the Pittsburgh Penguins just shoot the puck down the ice. Going back for it is Robert Picard, but Sira got it over to Borja Salming, number 21. Then over to Picard. Picard, a pass up on the right side of Pimon. Pimon takes the shot. Howland has no trouble with that, and he shoots it out. Picard goes back for it. Over onto the right side for Pimon. Tried to hit Dan Maloney, and Pittsburgh just clear it down with 2 seconds left in the penalty. Malone is back out. Here he comes. Now it's the Leafs coming back again. Pimon takes his shot. Holland stopped that. Picard to drive. The rebound. Maloney just missed it. Here it's back to Sittler, a shot. And Sittler was turned around before he could get it on the rebound. Back up for number 30, Paul Gardner. Shot the puck in. Paul Gardner's out there at center now. Rick Keogh's on the right side. And they get a whistle. This is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
For the cold winter, a warm sheepskin or leather coat from Canadian Sheepskin and Leather Manufacturing. Choose from a varied selection of ladies' and men's sheepskin and leather coats, car coats, jackets, and vests. We're also taking orders for ladies and men's extra large and tall sizes. For our American customers, we honor the daily bank rate on U.S. funds. Canadian Sheepskin and Leather Manufacturing Limited, the mark of quality with low prices. 2 convenient locations, 974 Howard Avenue at Erie and 7631 Tecumseh Road East in Pickwick Plaza.
Shots on goal so far. Toronto out shooting the Penguins 8-2.
And it's Paul Gardner at center with Rick Keogh on one wing, Lonsbury, number 18, on the other. Beaubear, number 5, and Randy Carlyle are the 2 defensemen. Now then, Leafs getting a little confused as to what positions they're supposed to be in. It comes back to the blue line. A shot by Carlyle, and Sira went down and covered up.
See, Gardner showed good work on the face-off. He won it cleanly from Borja Salming. Gardner wearing number 30. They apparently lost some Pittsburgh sweaters, or some were stolen. He'll get number 20 when they get a new set. Said his brother Dave is playing very well in Switzerland. Loves it over there. Has 30 goals with the Swiss team.
Boschman against Gardner. Gardner won the draw again. Carlisle a shot, and Sierra stopped that. Gardner has it again. Tips it off to Rick Keogh. Keogh on the right foot to Gardner. Oh, and that shot was stopped by Turnbull, who slid in front. Back come the Leafs with Rocky Saginaw shooting it in. He's dumped by Carlisle. Puck is off the glass. Laurie Boschman tried to center it. Turnbull lets one go. Holland grabs that and holds on.
Well, Bill, I was in Tillsonburg on Thursday to watch the Flying Fathers. In fact, I even played a couple of shifts with them. Play against the Tillsonburg team. Who is that fella out there? My gosh. On that bad leg, he gets around all right. Anyway, there'll be a special on the intermission about the Flying Fathers visit. They wanted to ordain me, but I knew what that meant. A pie in the face. Nope, no thanks.
The puck goes into the corner. It's cleared by Stackhouse, but not out. Boria Salming a shot, and Holland had to come out and cover up there.
Well, I know Mayor Armstrong of Tillsonburg and Hector Verhoeven, I was talking to him today. He said they raised about $8,000 at that Flying Fathers benefit hockey game.
Robert Picard out on the defense as the puck goes to the corner. Dave Burrows is knocked off the puck. Stackhouse of Pittsburgh shot it to the blue line, but not out. Salming lets the shot go. That's high and wide. Pittsburgh trying to get the puck out. Number 24, Pat Hughes, getting it to center ice. Laurie Boschman to Boria Salming. Ahead to Saginaw, and Saginaw couldn't control it. Comes back to Salming. He nearly got trapped. The puck goes over the line. Boschman tried to get through. Cleared out by Hughes. A long pass over on the far side. Coming in is McCallum, and he's hauled down. Play goes right on, and it goes back out to center ice. Burrows over the line, and it's broken up. Picard, a long shot. After it is Vive. Vive picks the shot, gets the backhand. Holland stopped that on the short side. Nice move by Ricky Vive. Derligo shot it to an open wing. There wasn't anybody there. Now Parrish is out on the defense for Shan. Puck is carried around back of the net into the corner, racing after it. Rod Shutt gets it back. Randy Carlisle, a shot. Sierra stops that. He doesn't know where it is, but the whistle goes. We'll have a face-off. With the score, Pittsburgh nothing, Toronto nothing. Our telecast returns in a moment.
Pro Speed and Custom, experts in car, van, and four-wheel drive dress-up, has the custom accessories to enhance your vehicle's appearance. With a wide selection of rear window louvers, running boards for pickups and vans, flares, spoilers, bay windows, vents, roll bars, and mag wheels. For a truly distinguished vehicle you'll drive with a sense of pride. For the smooth ride you deserve, check out the quality radial tires. Computer tire balancing available. Pro Speed and Custom, your car, van, and four-wheel drive dress-up center with 2 convenient locations to serve you.
Still no score, just over half a period to play in the first period as we look at Bill Dirtig over the Leafs.
Okay, Brian, we're all set to go now. The puck goes from the face-off. The Leafs bring it out. That's Ricky Vive, and his pass over on the wing for Hickey. Vive keeps fighting for it. Trying to center it, he did. Oh, and that shot was just wide by Pat Hickey. Cleared out and down the ice by number 23, Rod Shutt of Pittsburgh. Leafs in possession, just drive it past Faubert. Going back to get it is Randy Carlisle, and they're going to call that one icing.
That gives us a chance to look at a play a moment ago. Here's Ricky Vive made a good deke to get around his man, then took a backhand shot toward the corner and just off the side of the net, off the side of the post. Almost eluded Rob Holland, the starting netminder here tonight. There's Vive's record in 22 games.
All set for the face-off. Greg Malone lost the draw. The Leafs with Hickey getting it up to Ricky Vive. Vive made a move and just about got by Randy Carlisle. He's cleared it to the far wing and it's wrapped out to George Ferguson. Ferguson comes down for Pittsburgh over the line. Left it there. There's nobody there. And the Leafs return. Pat Hickey over to Bill Derligo. Derligo gets it to Shan. Over here, a shot, fired wide by Vive. 4 of them went in. Now it's Ferguson back. Hit Malone. And Hickey covered Faubert, but Malone gets back to recover at center ice for Pittsburgh. Got the puck in. Sura to Shan. Shan bringing the puck up to his own blue line to center. Takes a long shot. Holland missed it with his glove, but it was off the net. Sittler tried to center it. It's cleared by Gardner, but not out. That shot was wide. Lonsbury clears it right on a Piedmont stick. There's a drive. Holland stopped that. Burrows again shoots it off the boards, and it hops over the stick of Melrose and goes down the ice. Pass comes up through center. Picked up, pushed ahead with a glove, then we'll get a whistle. 9:12 remaining in the first period, and there's no score.
Bill, I mentioned how well received we were in Tillsonburg the other night. Now I'll move a little further west for a big night coming up Monday, February 16th, as the people in Essex County salute our show Hockey Night in Canada. That'll be a great night of entertainment. The stars from Hollywood and stars from the NHL join together for a spectacular at the Cleary Auditorium.
Turnbull to Paymont. Paymont trying to get it out in front to Martin. Martin gets it out in front, but it's picked off by Gardner. Paul Gardner comes back at center with Stackhouse. Over the line. Shot it wide of the net. Paymont covers Lonsbury. It ends up on top of the net. Cleared to the blue line, but not out. Keogh took a shot wide. Then Burrows' shot. That was deflected. Now we have Turnbull knocking Gardner down. And that's a penalty. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
I'm into having some fun, you see. Good times for you, you and me. Let's bring away for the good times. Good times feeling free. Breaking away to Canadian. Breaking away to the good times.
Penalty taken when Turnbull had Paul Gardner all tied up. You could see to the right of your screen there. Interference certainly the call at 11:20. Men to watch in the power play. Keogh with 6 power play goals and Ferguson with 4.
Paul Gardner remains out there with Lonsbury, Keogh, Carlisle. He's got the puck. There's the shot high and wide. Keogh gets it back, but he shot it down the ice.
Bill Carlisle's had a very strong first period for the Penguins tonight. There he is now.
Yes, he certainly has, and so has Ricky Vibe for the Maple Leafs. Goes over to Carlisle, hands it back to him. Moves up to the blue line, up at center, a quick pass to Lonsbury. Lonsbury gets it over the line. Gardner was checked. Carlisle follows up, gets it into Lonsbury. Lonsbury, but oh, and Gardner just popped that one right off the pad. Yuri Sura. Salming just shoots the puck down the ice, grabs at Greg Shepard. Randy Carlisle coming up to his own blue line, up at center. A long shot, ends up in the corner. Rick Keogh can't control it, and it's shot by Curtin down the ice. Salming goes up to do a bit of forechecking. It's cleared into the corner. Salming nearly stole the puck, goes after it again. And finally, Greg Malone, a Pittsburgh to Carlisle. Carlisle, a pass to Malone.